Hey everyone, this is my 2001 Subaru Impreza 2.5 RS, and I'm in the process of doing an engine swap to a 2003 Subaru Impreza WRX turbocharged EJ205. So I just wanted to do a video of this car and this engine specifically, so when I sell it, people will know that it works. So I'm just going to turn it on and you guys can see that there's 139,417 miles and it starts up fine. Yeah, I'm gonna drive it around the neighborhood and then possibly on the freeway just so you can see that there's nothing wrong with the engine itself. I'm gonna go to the hood as well and show you it. One thing to note was that the car did show a check engine light when the car was off, but once I turned it on, it went away. There are no check engine codes. So I bought this car probably 2 years ago with 130, I think it was 138,000 miles. I put almost 2,000 miles on it, like 1,500. I didn't drive it that often. I have another car that I use. This is more of a fun weekend kind of car. And I took a lot of care to it. You can check out my videos to see all the maintenance that's been done. I have the windows down right now so you can hear for any irregularities, and I'm just going to drive and you can just listen to it. The rattling noise is coming from all these screws on my dash. I also put solid motor mounts, so there's more vibration on the inside. This is with the window closed. Idle. Here's the engine. There's no unusual sounds. Just gonna get closer so you can hear it. I just decided to take the hood off just so it's easier to see. I have a light up there and the hood was blocking the light. I got the engine separated from the transmission, so I'm going to pull it up now. This top one goes to the top. Hey guys, it's December 16th, 2019, and I just want to give you a quick update. I picked up this 2003 Subaru WRX that's been wrecked. This guy drove it 2.5 hours to Millbrae and dropped it off. He used this crazy tripod system to lift it up from a trailer. Then he pulled the trailer and lowered it down. I'll show you pictures of it. But essentially he got in I guess a front end collision. So right here, this tire suspension is like messed up, the wheel. The tire came off the wheel. All of this is pushed in, and then the damage extends to the rear as well. So other than that, I think that's the extent of the damage. The other parts are fine. So this car has been junked, and I was thinking maybe I could try restoring it, but then it would take more money and more effort to get this running again. So what I'm planning to do, maybe if I can't get it running again, is to put this engine into the 2.5 RS. So it would make it a lot faster. I'm just gonna walk around again. I'm gonna walk through the inside and show you the airbags that deployed. The window cracked. Looking in here, it's pretty dirty. Both front airbags deployed. Cracked the window right there. This is a 5-speed manual. Back is, I guess, clean for the most part, but just needs to be washed. So there you have it. These two wheels seem to be fine in the front, and then the exhaust seems to be fine as well. I got a lot of the car disassembled. I took the battery out, moved that, and just looking at the extent of the damage. This front bracket shifted really far left, and then it also shifted up. So this is supposed to be pretty even right now, but you can see how much it moved. And then I got the car lifted up. Down here, all this damage. The steering rack seems to be bent. This time, this side seems fine, but then over here, the front sway bar is bent. The steering rack, that extension piece right there, is bent. And then I'm not sure what else is damaged here. That control arm right there is bent as well. On the rear passenger side, the wheel is rubbing. So when I tried turning this, there's a lot of resistance, even though it's in neutral. Rear driver's side, the wheel's bent all the way in. Turns a little bit easier. Well, if I use two hands, it would turn a bit easier, but then things are bent back here as well. Looking in the back, you see the driver's side rear control arm. This is bent when it should be straight, and then this piece behind it is bent when it should be straight, like that one over there. Here's the progress so far. There was a fog light right here. Finally pried the lens off, then I pried the plastic, so I have all of this in place. I'm going to try to chain this up and then tow it to pull this out, just so that I have more access to pull the engine, because right now it's almost rubbing the frame right there. And then all of like the fans are almost hitting the engine. I know the coolant lines are. I want to see if I can pull this out, and then I want to try starting the engine to see if it works. And then worst case, if that doesn't work, I'm just going to pull the fan and then try pulling the engine out. I know the Prius has 0% towing capacity, but I was able to pull some of the frame out. It wasn't much, but it was better than nothing. So there's this piece of metal right here. A lot of the chunks are like on the ground and right there. So I was able to pull that, and then I got to pull this out a little. So right now, it's starting to clear the engine a bit. That coolant hose is still collapsed. So I just figured, I wasn't getting very far. I just figured I'll take this beam out, and then maybe I'll get to push this out somehow or cut it off, because I'm mainly concerned about that right there. I can always move the radiator forward if I just take everything off and then move this brace out of the way. Got the brace off. I'm thinking about attempting to pull this section out where it's hitting the engine, or just cutting it off altogether. I took out the AC condenser and then the two radiator fans. So what we have left is a radiator. I haven't drained it yet. I might drain it and then take the lower hose out and pull this out. But as you guys can see, I cannot start the engine yet because there is some damage right there. So I gotta continue getting this metal piece back out and then figuring out if I can actually turn this over or if something else needs to be repaired before I can turn it on. I took the radiator off, drained the coolant. That's the green stuff down there, and still got to figure out what to do in this area. Today is December 24th and I have a chance to work on the car during the day. Since it's brighter outside, you can see more of the extent of the damage. It's a lot clearer now, and I have these tools, these hydraulic tools. I'm going to stick it between here and this frame right there, and I'm going to try to just extend the hydraulic thing so it pushes that out. It'll be supported on that side, so I just want to get enough clearance to get access. I want to get access to this right there, and then I can remove the timing cover and then all that stuff to check to make sure the timing belt is okay. I also have a lower driver's side control arm and the tie rod that was bent. So I pushed this far enough to get enough clearance from the engine. Looks like the belt snapped and it wrapped around itself over here. This crank pulley is on so tight that I had to remove this cover. I had to break it apart, and then I'm just using a flathead screwdriver to just like shove it in here to get some clearance to push it out. Finally got it out, and there's a lot of broken stuff. There's the timing belt is broken, these are broken, that's broken. Let's see, this is bent, pretty much. This one is broken as well. I need to figure out what extent things are damaged. Here's the new control arm on the right and the old one on the left. Notice how bent it is.
Just use a plug wire.
Today is February 8th, 2020, and I'm going to pull the engine harness from the car, and then if I have time, I'm going to drop the exhaust and pull everything that I can from the front. Taking out this heater core was probably the hardest thing to do because there's the wiring that goes behind it. I had to remove that crossbar piece, and then I had to disconnect the hoses in the back. The one right there, and then loosen those clamps, and I was able to wiggle this forward to pull this out. Here is the harness. This thing's pretty heavy, it's like 25 pounds.
Took out the exhaust and the downpipe. This is the location of the fuel pump controller. There's 10mm nuts holding it in place. So I got that out and I gotta trace it back. I had to pop off this upper trim piece to get access to these. There's clips holding these in place, and there's just a bunch of stuff all around that I had to remove.
Here's a quick update on the WRX. Pretty much took everything out. The transmission is out, the engine's out, all the fairings are off. Took the seats out. I'm going to take the carpet out and see if it could fit in the GC8. I'm about to pull the ceiling and then pull the roof rack. I have a bunch of stuff here. Took the drive shaft and rear differential, took the rear bumper out, and then I brought a angle grinder and a sawzall, and I'm planning on cutting up in sections, probably like right there, right there, right there, this in half, cutting this section just so I can dispose of it easily, and then see if I can rent a truck and bring it to a junkyard to make some money, or just have someone else pick it up.